Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For uses of use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now let's start this dang show.
You gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
Well, we started really poorly. We had a really hard time. I don't know why that stopped, but the officials, got us 5 times that we assessed penalties, and there was a few other ones that they let go. It was miserable looking first quarter. And we were kind of hung in the game as far as, trying to win the game. We didn't run the ball very well in the first half. We really didn't do much of anything very well, but we stayed close. And so it was the opportunity for us to face that up and then come on back and see what you can do in the second half to finish the game. And it was a marvelous second half for our guys as a team. We did so many cool things that we weren't able to do. We ran the ball better. We protected the quarterback better. The quarterbacks made their throws, the guys made their catches, and gave us a chance to win a football game on the last play of the game. And, that's kind of all we can hope for, Bud Grant taught me that a long time ago. So it winds up being a tie, too bad.
What was the experience like being back here coming from a different perspective?
I'm sorry to tell you that it wasn't like it was something, obvious. It was a football game, and I've been fighting wars for other people my whole life, coaching. And so, I was with my team and we were battling, and it was cool to be here. I loved it here. I've always loved the whole the whole experience that we had here all those years together and all of that. And I don't forget that, and I don't disrespect that in one bit. But it didn't translate to something crazy to me. It was just an opportunity to play in a great setting. And thanks to the league for putting us in this game when they figured it out. It was a good idea. And it's been a good one to look forward to. And I thought we handled it all right. I just wish we would have played better.
As you mentioned, you didn't get a lot of bites at the apple offensively with that first team. Does that, give you maybe more reason to maybe want to see that out there on Saturday with the first team offense against the 49ers?
It's exactly as we had planned. They were going to play a handful of plays, just get on, go through the process of preparing for the game, the mental part of it, and the pregame, and then get out there. That's all. I just want to get them on the field, and they did that. And so the next time they're going to play quite a bit. So that's just part of the process.
What up, everybody? I have no background, so hey, here we are.
I sent you a message. What happened to your background?
StreamYard is getting ready to get cut off. That's why. StreamYard, ever since they want to make these changes, everything they did, I don't like. So here we are.
My background came with StreamYard. It worked.
The magic of television here. All right, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday of the Cage Match.
I'm still bad.
That was that was Pete Carroll right there talking about the game in Seattle, which I did attend. And to be honest, Asylum, I'm going to be real honest. I felt more of that Oakland Coliseum vibe up in Seattle than I have in the few games I went to in the Legion Stadium. And people can say, hey, well, it's because you're not in Oakland. Yeah, I know that. But as a Raider fan in Asylum, you know this. What, you 17 years of PSL?
17 years season ticket holder. Every freaking Sunday home game. Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesdays, whatever day it was. I spent every home game in that stadium for 17 years.
So, we're used to a certain way. We're accustomed to a certain way over here in the Bay Area. So Seattle, your stadium is beautiful. The way to get to your stadium, though, is another story. It's another story. But anyways, Asylum, we're going to talk about all that and the game. But before we do all that, let's do our favorite segment. That is the shameless plug. Asylum, where is it at? Right here we go.
All right, everyone, go to the YouTube channel, like the Cage Match Show. Like, share, subscribe. Excuse me. Hit that bell so you know anything drops. Give us a thumbs up. Everything helps us. And if Roger Goodell wants to be the little twat hot dog holder that he is, you can catch us on Facebook, first and foremost, on Oakland Raider Savage page, Oakland Raider Savage, or my page, Asylum. Then we'll let you know when it's safe to come back because you know what? He can't shut us down on Facebook. He's tried. He can't get zucked. But we every once in a while get Goodell. And then after the show, go check out WGG, browse their all their items, or just go ahead and try that sampler that's on the screen right there. Get yourself a little shaker and put Cage Match, one word, when you check out in the discount code to get 10% off your entire order.
And like we always say, when you think of wins, think of dubs. When you think of dubs, think of Dubby. Get that energy like Pete Carroll. And he had energy all over the sideline over there. So get the energy like Pete Carroll. That is discount code CAGEMATCH. One word, Cage Match in there. Get 10% off your whole order. Helps us out because we like to do things to get to the viewers here, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, check out the Compa Fabian. Go there to www.rn4lifer.com. Check out his merch, his catalog. He has great stuff. He helped us with our merch, our koozies, our lanyards. So if you want some of that, go into our email, which I should have that also up. I don't, but we'll put it up later too. Go there, check that out. And also shouts out to Raiderman19, Raiderman19.com. Go to his website, the Raider Man from Richmond podcast. He has the up and going. He also has his own merch. I want to get a shirt from him too. That is the Raider Oath Raider Oath merch. I was on a roll too. I was on a roll too, and then I said Raider Oath And speaking of that oath, you heard him at the end of our intro, the main intro. We want to somehow, some way get him to the torch over there to light up the torch in Las Vegas with those back windows open for all of the strip to hear and see the, what'd you call it? The bay doors. Yeah.
No, lay doors. Lay.
All right, it's the bay doors. Lay. I don't know. Okay. They're windows. Okay. You open the window and then they open up. And you yell out the window like you do when you're mad or when you're happy, whatever. You tell all the neighbors and you let them know one thing. I am a Raiders fan. I am a Raiders fan. And we always give him a shout out because he's a big part of the show. I think he'll be out there at the tailgates for this game coming up against the 40 Winers. There you go. 49ers. For our United fans, I have a few.
Did they lose their preseason game? Oh, poor babies.
Go there. He should be over there in Lot J. So you'll see Raider Man over there and tell him what's up. say hi and all that. Okay, Asylum. We had a game that was played today. I'm sorry, we had a game that was played on Thursday, and we're talking about it today.
I was about to say, did I miss something? I thought I was on top of this shit. Jesus, don't you do that to me.
You know, I am still trying to recuperate from my Seattle trip, so I'm a little off right now. As you can see, I have no green screen. So I'm getting tired of StreamYard. Anyways, that was a score right there. It was a 23-all tie, which was kind of fitting for Pete Carroll's return. That there was no winners, there was no losers. There was just, I don't know, 2 losers, 2 winners. I don't know. Preseason football. Okay, so but anyways, Asylum, and I need you to get that video going. Before we get into the game, let's do CMN. We have a new guy doing our CMN, so let's go into that real quick. Asylum, get Asylum Burgundy going on right now. Here we go.
This is CMN, a cage match news update.
Hello, this is Asylum Burgundy at the Al Davis news desk for your cage match news update. The Raiders played the Seahawks and ended in a tie. What kind of is that? After throwing 2 interceptions, Aiden O'Connell threw a touchdown pass to Dylan Lawway. Rookie quarterback Cam Miller came in and showed why Tom Brady recommended his services. But my favorite highlight was Beast Mode on the sideline checking a Seahawk for interrupting his photography time. Speaking of checking someone, John Gruden stuck it to Roger Goodell as he wins a court ruling against NFL arbitration. Gruden's lawsuit alleges that Goodell pressured Raiders to fire him by leaking offensive emails that Gruden sent about the commissioner and others in the league. Gruden resigned from the Raiders in October 2021. Nevada Supreme Court ruled that as a former employee, Gruden should not have been bound by NFL Constitution provision. Gruden's leaked emails were sent in 2011 while he was working for us as a Monday Night Football analyst. Goodell will try and appeal this ruling, to which Gruden's response to that was, "Shut the up." But there was other action in the NFL. Here are the greatest moments in preseason that I admired.
The opening touch, and he's under pressure. Buried by David. Grabbing his face mask, and Jenkins didn't took issue with it. So,
let's watch that one more time. Fun fact, CD Lamb was flagged for this. Transaction alert. The Raiders signed 2 players to compete for spots on the roster. Safety Terrell Edmonds and wide receiver Marquez Callaway are trying to revive their careers after bouncing around the league. Their skills will be on display this weekend against the 49ers at Allegiant Stadium. Those Bang Bang fans will be out there in attendance. I was going to say sarcastically bang bang my ass, but I didn't want them to take it as an invitation. Let's represent and claim victory in the Old Bay Area rival. Go Raiders!
Oh, no, come back. There I'm back. There we go. I fixed it. All right, everybody.
Don't try to do the same thing. Sorry. I'm trying to help.
There's my background right there.
You got to work on your fading, though. You're turning into Casper. You're doing Back to the Future right there. You're starting to fade out of the picture.
I know. I'm just faded right now. Hold on.
You just faded? I was faded.
You know what? It is what it is. Oh my God.
Whoa, Jesus Christ. There you go. That's better.
All right, we're here. Okay, thank you everybody for staying with us in our technical difficulties. But there you go right there. Thank you, Asylum Burgundy. for that update.
And 2 weeks in a row. Hard hitting news.
Hard hitting news. And well, before we get into anything, he did talk about that we do have 2 new Raiders coming in. One of them is Raiders sign safety Terrell Edmonds. He is 28 years old, played 7 seasons with Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Tennessee, and Jacksonville. He was recently
he's
before
also
the Raiders.
The brother of I can't remember his first name. The what is it, linebacker or defensive lineman Edmonds, something like that?
He does have family. I know that for sure.
I know he plays in the NFL. I just can't remember his damn first name for some reason. Why am I drawing a blank? Jesus.
Yeah, who's fading now, huh? Anyways.
I wish. I'm still trying to get there.
I'm trying to upload his highlights. All right. 7 years in the league. Last was on the Chargers practice squad 2025. So he was bounced around on active rosters, on practice squads. Last year, he only played 6 games, no starts, 7 tackles, 5 solo. And that is it. Asylum right here. What do you think about this signing and what does it mean for the Raiders? We did have the injury with Lonnie Johnson a few weeks ago in that mock game. But what is this signing happening? It happened after the Seahawks game. What does this signing say to you? Yeah, Pete bringing in more people.
What was that?
No, I said Pete bringing in more people.
No, this is preseason. That's what you do in preseason, right? I mean, he's a camp body. It probably the Lonnie Johnson Jr. injury. I think it's probably a big reason for it, right? You want to be able to go. You got people fighting for backup spots, fill in. They were talking about, that injury. He could be back early in the start of the season. I don't think he'd be back at the, first couple of weeks, something like that, because it was a broken bone in his leg, wasn't it?
I want to say, yeah, it was a fibula injury,
right? Right at the tip. Anyways, I wouldn't read anything into it. It's just bringing in, a veteran, player, somebody who has a chance of making the team. We talked about this a lot, lighting fires under people's asses, right? Competition makes you better. If he comes in and gets cut, it's nothing. But if he comes in and makes somebody better or even could make the 53-man roster or the practice squad, it's not a bad thing in my book. It's just, I really think the Lonnie injury has a lot to do with it. And, you're going to have this rotation. I'd rather see it happening now because you got to remember, what is it? It's like days after that last preseason game. You got to cut down the 53-man roster. So you need to start seeing everybody now. Why wait? Start bringing them in. I mean, you can't, back in the day, you used to be able to have 100 and something people during preseason, and now they cut it down to, I think it's 93 during the preseason. Then you got to cut it down to, after next week's game, I think they got to cut it down to 70 something, and then it gets cut down to 50, the 53-man roster. So, I mean, you can read into it if you want. I'm not reading into anything in that aspect. I'm just looking at it as a camp body experience. Let's just go ahead and, get that revolving door going right now, because right now, this is when that door needs to be revolving and getting people in.
Well, right here, August 26th is where the Raiders have to go all the way down. Yeah, I remember that too. That was the old way. I think now it's been like the last couple years where you got all these players and then one big cut where they got to bring it down to 53 players. That'll be the 26th. So Pete, and like he said in his in the intro, that it's all about competing. It's all about competing. He wants guys to come in because he wants you as a player, whether you're the starter or a guy that was, on the bench but thought you were comfortable, whatever, first round pick, second round pick, whatever. He wants you to feel the heat that I don't want to see no complacency. I don't want to see you kind of like, oh yeah, I got this. And then no. Pete's all like, every game, every day, every practice could be your last. Not
No
just
job is guaranteed, is what he's telling you.
yes. So
Or maybe Crosby. There's a few people who probably got the guarantees, but everybody else, there's no guarantee that on week 1 you're going to be let alone on the team, let alone starting. I mean, and I think this is a way to show it. Just hey, there's people out there who are hungry, who want it, who as the Silent Burgundy said, they're trying to revive their careers, right? So what more? Who's hungrier? The guy who's feeling comfortable because he's got that big contract. I got my starting spot, or this guy who says, you know what, I need to get on this team because this might be my last shot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also the same thing said about the other guy that we signed here. Not that guy. This guy right here, Marcus Callaway. Raiders signed wide receiver Marcus Callaway. He has played in his career 47 games, 17 of those starting, 83 receptions, 1,069 yards of receiving, 12.9 average, 7 touchdowns with a long reception of 58. 27 years old, played 5 seasons. That's active seasons with the Saints and the Buccaneers, but he's been bouncing around on practice squads. He was on our practice squad in 2023 along with Denver's. 2024, he was on Pittsburgh's practice squad back to New Orleans. And in Tampa Bay, where he did get some playing time last year, 2 games, no stats. He was on the Niners practice squad earlier this year, was released, and now the Raiders have him for competition with the receivers. And I mean, there's already competition as it is with Thornton Jr. And Besh, and even with Trey Tucker. And of course, you had Jackson that got that touchdown from Cam Miller, and then you also have
Jackson, though,
Bachman
is the nephew of Bo Jackson. So keep that in mind. There might be something there. He did have that touchdown, and it looked good.
Yeah,
just saying. Could we have another Bo Jackson lineage? A Vincent Jackson going here. The nephew. Don't tell me he didn't have, hasn't helped him out through this, and to be a Raider on top of it all. Come on.
Yeah, and that's
right now.
But I another receiver. It could be a Cam Body. It could be somebody that okay, we'll give you a shot. We'll give you a chance if you can, jump up the roster and try to grab a spot. But I don't know, because it's already
special teams though. A lot of those receivers play special teams. Then there's still the practice squad. So the receivers are those ones that tend to get those little tweaks and shit that keep them out of a game here or there. So, having enough people to be able to fill in and rotate in there, he's being given a chance in my book.
Yeah. Pete Carroll is not one to, as you can clearly see, shy away from, okay, yeah, you guys are here. All right. You know what? Let's bring more people in here. Let's go. Let's get more competition in here. They're probably not going to make it, but you don't know. You don't know what my plan is. So, I mean, bringing him, he seems like a speedy guy, but him bouncing around the league, in different practice squads, I don't know. It just could be another camp body that's just here to help with competition, get some tape out there for maybe somebody else to come and swoop him. If and when, we do release him, we do cut him on that deadline, but it's just another interesting week of Raider football and transactions.
There was Raiders football though.
There was Raiders football, and I was over there in Seattle, and it was crazy. And like I said, that stadium's nice, man. That stadium's nice, but maybe I'm just not a dome guy. Because I don't know.
There was an episode on what was it, Homer's show and everything. You did burn down the stadium. Dome improvement, remember?
Oh yeah. Well,
you might have did it accidentally on purpose.
What? No. Well, no. We do not tolerate burning down buildings here. Okay. Unless it's Candlestick, it's already burned down. Anyway, it's not burned down. It was taken down. Speaking of the Niners coming in. All right, Solemn. What did we have on our schedule here? I wrote it all down, but I'm still trying to recuperate from that long drive. I drove there, by the way. I didn't fly. We drove there 12 hours from the Bay Area up to Kennewick, and then another 3.5 to Seattle. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But Asylum, let's talk about this game. Let's talk about this game right here that we had watched. And, I guess you can say highly anticipated. We wanted Raider football. It's only preseason, but the fact that it was Raiders football, that's all that mattered. Looking at, oops, wrong button. See, I'm rusty. I don't know how. I got road lag. So,
no. It's road fatigue.
Road fatigue. You know what it is. Looking at this preseason week 1, Raiders tie with the Seahawks 23-23. Total yards 392 to the Seahawks 368. Passing yards 288 to the Seahawks 198. Rushing yards 104 to the Seahawks 170. Raiders had 5.9 yards per play. They had 5.7. We had 21 first downs. They had 23 first downs. We were 5 for 14 in third down. They were 8 for 15, which is not good on third down conversion. 2 for 2 on fourth down. They had 0 for 1. Total play 67, 65. So looking at this, sacks allowed 1 each. We had 2 punts. They had 4 punts. 10 penalties for 80 yards. We did. They had 9 for 78. Going down these numbers, I mean, they're just about even. We gave up 2 interceptions, though, so 2 turnovers to their 1 interception. Asylum, it was, for the most part, if you just look at the stats alone, it was an even game. It was an even game.
It didn't start off that way. It did not start off that way. And I don't know, maybe I'll wait to say one point there. There was the good, the bad, and the ugly in this game. There was. And first and foremost, the biggest thing that stood out to me in the game was poor tackling.
Yeah.
All the way, on defense and everything. It seemed like everybody was trying to go for a big hit to get the, stand out, whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, the main things I saw, we'll say on the defensive side there, was poor tackling. There was times that they could have been stopped, bad angles, when pursuing, poor tackling. The middle of the field was open like 98% of the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, from the defensive line back, it's all new players. There's only like linebackers have Tommy fucking Eichenberg, and the secondary has Paul Amal, and those are the only guys returning. Everybody else is like new. So, they got to be able to work together. They got to do something, because I was disappointed in the linebacking core there with how open the middle of the field was. And that allowed, allowed for the running game. Why? They're able to get, yards, bad angle right there, but they're able to get yards because once it got past the defensive line, there was nobody there to tackle them. Look right here, open middle right there. There should have been some kind of pursuing after he got to, 2-3 yards into that middle. The secondary, they're not free from criticism in this, but those 2 units need to do something to start working together and stop focusing on me, because if you don't work together as a team right there and keep doing that, not only is it shades of last year, but you're going to turn around and not have a fucking job because somebody else, starting to work better. They got to work, 2 missed tackles right there. I mean, that just says it all to me. At the tackling fundamentals, get back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
And tackling is part of it. Don't worry about the big hit. Don't worry about all that shit. Grab the guy and hold him still. Converge on the ball. So, get your half a tackle because you held him by his foot, and somebody else came and cleaned his clock. That's okay. That's the shit I want to see. I don't want to see somebody trying to blow him up just because it looks good, you know, and shit like that. I mean, that's what I was seeing, especially early in the game.
Yeah, and Pete. Well, I was going to say Pete Carroll was asked about this the day after the game. Here's what he had to say about the defense and the tackling.
Concerned about the missed tackles, or you chalk that up to it's the first preseason game?
Well, I'm chalking it up to it's the first preseason game, and I'm concerned. Yeah, that way the tackling was stunk, and it was all open field stuff for the most part. And that's the first time we've tackled anybody. So that's why you play these games, and the progress was made in the second half. We were playing a lot cleaner, and guys just got used to running and hitting, but we need to continue to emphasize it like we have been. But that's the first shot, you know. And so, but it could have been better. I thought we worked on it hard enough to show better than that, but we got work to do.
Yeah, he said we got work to do, you know, and we all saw it. I saw it.
Oh, I mean, that was glaring. I was seeing it early, and I was like, okay, knocking off a little bit of rust, right? I mean, it's been a while. Like you said, it's the first time they've been tackling since last season and everything. But yeah, it was just glaring. It was showing shades of fucking last year.
Yeah,
it really was. And what's the excuse this year? Right? Coaching staff is different. Half the players are different and going. So it's not like we could just sit here and blame the same guys over and over and over again. This is new. This is something that needs to get cleaned up. And it started to a little bit. I'll give Pete Carroll that. It started to a little bit in the second half, but it was still there. And, you know, I'll give it to the first game back in preseason. But if that's the case, then why did the starters go out as quickly as they did? Because they're the ones who need it the fucking most.
Yeah, and you know, speaking especially on offense too, when you have a new quarterback with a new running back, trying to get used to not a new offensive line, but a new configuration with the two offensive linemen switched, JPJ at right guard and Meredith at center. So to have them, and then with the new offensive coordinator again, with Chip Kelly, you want to see more of them working in live game action and seeing how these plays go. And of course, you're not going to go and show all your whole hand. You're going to run some basic plays, but just to kind of get them all used to working together under the lights, games, game situations. I'm still trying to recover from this trip. But going on the offensive side, you had, there's the stats right here. Looking at the offensive side right here, I mean, O'Connell was your highest quarterback stat-wise because he had the most playing time. 18 for 30, 205 yards, 6.8 average, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. No sacks with a 63.9 rating. And then Cam Miller came in the fourth, 6 for 7, 76 yards, 10.9 average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He got sacked 1 time for 8 yards, 151.5. Quarterback rating, Geno Smith only had 3 passes, 1 for 3, 15 yards, 5.0 average. No touchdowns and interception. So basically just he did the first series and that was it. Same thing with Ashton Genty. 3 carries, -1 yard with a negative 0.3. I mean, the starters and Pete Carroll, I believe, said that they're going to get more burn going into this game at Allegiant Stadium versus the 49ers. But looking at the offensive side, here's the quarterbacks right here. First, let's go do the quarterbacks right here. Offensive side, I mean, it started off slow for Aiden O'Connell. I was texting you during the game because I'm there watching it live, and I'm texting you, and you had an assessment. I mean, first game, butterflies and all that. But I know you had an assessment, especially when it came to this interception right here.
Well, I mean, that interception there, I think that was avoidable. I don't know what Thornton was thinking about jumping for the fucking ball. You could tell it's underthrown. Why are you jumping? He could have backed it. I mean, he should have been there to break up that play. At least try to, play defender. But my biggest assessment all the way going into halftime, Aiden O'Connell was trying too hard. I don't know if it's because Geno Smith, and he wants to earn that starter's position, which we all know he shouldn't be getting. As far as we know, that's Geno's. But he was trying too hard. He came back out of halftime and played a hell of a lot better. Whatever was said to him, whatever he did, it was back to being Aiden O'Connell. I mean, he was, again, leading up to halftime, that touch of being a statue. We've all said it. He needs to move around in the pocket a little bit more, but he was trying too hard. His rookie receiver did not help him on that first, interception. I'm sorry. I don't know why you see an underthrown ball, and your first instinct is to jump and throw your arms up in the air, like, oh my God, this is where you go and you dig into the ground and you get up to that defender, and now you're the defender. You're getting your hands in there. You're trying to pop that ball out. Your job is to make sure he don't catch the ball, and if he does, it's to tackle him on the spot.
Yeah,
I feel like
I was gonna say you're right. These are the rookie receivers. When I was there at the game, that was opposite side of me. I was behind the Raiders bench. That happened alongside the Seattle Seahawks bench. The ball, O'Connell threw the ball up, and right when it came out the arc, when it started coming down, it just died. Don't know if that was because it wasn't windy. It wasn't windy over there. It was kind of muggy.
I did ask you because that was my first question. When we were talking about it, was it windy? Because you said when you were talking about how that ball got to the top of the arc, it just kind of died. And I said,
yeah,
was it windy? Because I know how that stadium is and how it funnels wind, because of the whole, the way it arches like this and it kind of funnels wind. And it's not just kickers wind effects. It's, quarterbacks who throw the ball high in the air and shit. So, and you said it wasn't. So, that throws that out. We don't know why it happened. So.
Yeah. No, Ed was thanking me because I was over there. So they're doing like the pregame stretches and all that and everything warming up on the field. And I saw my phone went off. It said, notification, Captain's going live. I said, you know what? And I owed Captain I owed Captain a show, a guest appearance, whatever. So I said, let me surprise Captain. I went on there. I said, Captain, send me the link. He sent me the link. I went live at the stadium. So people who are watching Captain show, that's what Ed was talking about in the comments. People who are watching Captain show got to see behind the scenes before the broadcast came on of what was going on at the stadium over there in Seattle. So, I always try to thank Captain because Captain been doing this for a long time. I always call him the James Brown of YouTube because he's the hardest working man on YouTube. He used to do like 18 shows a week. So, I always give my shout outs to him. I told Captain, I said, Captain, behind little Chucky, you're my favorite super fan. You're my favorite, so he said, hey, if it's behind little Chucky, I'll take it. So everyone got to see that. But yeah, so Ed, hey, that was, for everyone on his channel. I couldn't go live because we're not at that point here where I can go live on our channel yet like that on YouTube. I should have went on StreamYard. I didn't think about it, but I just saw Captain. I said, let's go. Let me just do this real quick.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. We know for next time.
Yes, we know for next time. We're still trying to rig things on this show, trying to get around the system. As you can see, we got two clips of the game that wasn't interrupted by Roger Goodell and the YouTube police. So let's try again. Asylum, let's go look at the...
got interrupted already?
No. I said that's two that we did not get interrupted.
Oh, that we did not get. Okay.
We get around the system.
I misunderstood what you said. My bad.
So let's talk about the third stringer the rookie, Cam Miller. Here's his highlights right here. And I mean, him coming in, he came in early in the fourth because O'Connell went into like the second series of the fourth. So Miller comes in, rookie quarterback, still, raw talent and everything. But he looked, for the limited time he had, he looked really good. He looked poised in the pocket. Here's him right here, 6 for 7, like we said. 6 for 7, like we said. Here's him right here. I mean, he's more of that mobile guy. And Asylum, we talked about this too. He's more nimble. He can move around.
I'll give him that right there.
Yeah,
that was Bo Jackson's nephew right there for the touchdown. I mean, that.
What he should have did? He should have kept on going and just ran out right there. He should have just ran out the tunnel, and just take off.
Like his uncle just.
That's for you, Theo. That's for you. Beautiful ball right there. But Asylum, you was talking about how his mobility might be his, I guess you could say his upside, his well,
it's definitely, I mean, he's got two things going for him, right? As Asylum Burgundy said, Tom Brady handpicked him out of the draft.
Yes.
So obviously he has that going for him, but that's a lot of pressure too, because you got all that. A lot of people will be like, he's only on the team because of Tom Brady, all that bullshit. But I mean, his mobility, he's, what do you want to call the prototypical Chip Kelly kind of quarterback, a guy who can run when you need. I mean, you saw it in there. He was moving, other than that earlier ball where it was behind the line of scrimmage, he kind of side-armed it, past a defender and all that. But the thing was, he didn't stay still in the pocket the whole time he was there. He was constantly moving around the pocket. Again, him and Geno Smith are similar quarterbacks. Geno Smith will stand still more often, but can run it and is mobile. So the plays that Chip Kelly's got to come up with, if, let's say, Geno Smith got hurt, and as the popular talk is, Aiden O'Connell turned around and got traded. This is all hypotheticals, right? Now you got Cam Miller coming in. The plays will have to change for him because he's a rookie and everything, but not as much as if Aiden O'Connell comes in and is more of that pocket passer. And now you got to have the offensive line doing something else, the tight ends doing, I mean, it changes a little bit. And I really think Cam Miller's advantage in this is his mobility and the fact that he's moving around in the pocket.
Yeah.
Which can also hurt him, though. Don't get me wrong. Gardner Minshew was running around the pocket, too. And we all know how that turned out. But
Gardner Minshew running circles inside the pocket.
I mean, I'll say this much: that once or that time that Miller played already looks better than Minshew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and that's and that's the thing with these rookie quarterbacks. Their first start, maybe it's just pure adrenaline and raw talent, raw skill, and they just go and just sling it like, hey, I'm a rookie, whatever. Hey, whatever, and they sling it. And they play, no fear and all that. We'll talk about that later. My sister said she is on standby just in case. She is the digital on-the-ground expert to see if YouTube tries to shut us off. So she is there reporting live. If YouTube shuts us off, she's there to let us know. To tell everyone to shoot over to Facebook. And we're going to get a Facebook page set up soon too, so we can everyone centralize kind of like a fire drill or something. Let's all go to our points in the parking lot and meet there until it's clear to come back inside to the YouTube. You get the all clear. All right, guys, let's come back. Okay, let's go. All right. but talking about Geno Smith, and we only seen him play. Like I said, we only seen him with a few reps.
It was one series.
One series.
And I was irritated at that. In all honesty, I mean, here you go. I mean, you see here, look, okay, he's moving, running the ball. Okay. There he threw the ball. But, first down. I believe there was even one point he did run the ball too. Okay, here was a failed run. No, I wouldn't fail, but just 3 yards, a bad pass, and then a drop pass, and then he's out. I mean, I'm irritated with the point of they started and they were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden, after they get the first down, it's 3 and out. Why do you stall like that? What, was it just he's warmed up? Let's just, I mean, that has me a little concerned. We got a 3-yard run. Okay, at least it was positive yards. Okay, the one pass, was kind of behind the receiver. Could have been caught, would it have been inbound, all that. And then you rush the next throw, and then we punt the ball. That's fine. It happens. Why doesn't he come back in for another series at least? I'm not happy to see him just stall out like that. And that's the kind of shit that's got me nervous with Geno. Are we babying him? Is this going to be what it is? We saw a lot of that last year too. Drive start and then stall out.
Yeah.
Why did he, right there? You showed it again. The drop pass, he tried to sidearm it past, a defender. That's not what Geno normally does. The other side of the damn field was open. Why did he take off to the left? Why was he staring down his receiver like a rookie quarterback does?
I was going to say, you would think that because, going back to Seattle and he was like 5 years over there, the last 3 he was starting, that he would have had a little bit more playing time. And I know it all depends on how they want to manage. They don't want to get these guys hurt, especially coming in, new acquisitions coming in. They're supposed to be starters. They're supposed to be the guys leading your team. You don't want to have them have them around injury.
Okay.
When it doesn't even count.
But yet they kept the starting, the starting line, offensive line. They kept them in for a while.
Yeah.
Which made sense because they're trying to get them the reps together in the new positions because a lot of people are playing new positions. There's only, 2 or 3 guys playing the same positions they did last year?
Yeah, Miller and DJ Glaze. Parham is switching over to the other side, the other guard position.
Parham's done it before, and he played that position last year too. So, it's just one of those. It's that thing. What the fuck? It's the thing of you let them in there to be able to get that cohesion. I wanted one more series. Now, I know Pete Carroll turned around and said this next game, the starters are going to get more playing time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see them more. But now, is that because of the stall? Is that because of what happened in the game? Or was that his plan all along? I'm not happy seeing my starting offense go out there, start to, work together, and we're going to see mistakes. We're going to see, hiccups, bad throws, passes that could have been caught. It's going to happen because they got to get back into that football routine. We're going to see stuff like that. But to stall out like that, you run the ball the first time, get 3 yards, and you can't do nothing after that. I'd rather see a 3 and out with it being, third and 3, and we only got 2 yards. And now we got to punt the ball. That's what I want to see. After that first down, the one run, and then all of a sudden we can't gain any yards. I've seen too much of that in the last few years of drives stalling out. I mean, we've gone 30 yards stalled out. We've gone all the way to the red zone and stalled out. I'm tired of stalling out on drives. The promises that we have on everything is, with Chip Kelly. I mean, you can't say it was Chip Kelly's offense because you saw it with fucking Cam Miller. You were seeing, now I know it was the basic generic offense because it's preseason, but I mean, you saw Jackson open. You saw Miller doing things. You saw it with Miller. You saw it with the backup running backs. You saw it with the backup offensive line. They were moving the ball. They were doing things. You were starting to see it's not Chip Kelly's offense. It's not Pete Carroll. You put out a short with Pete Carroll the whole fucking game, coaching the whole damn time. It wasn't a preseason game to him. He was out there doing what he needed to do to get the, coaching. All right, this is what I saw you do wrong. It's just, have to step this way, you're good. All right, next time. I mean, it's not the coaching in that aspect. So it's player execution right now.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
No, I was saying, and Jessica, that is my girlfriend right there. Oh wait, I need my soundboard. I was gonna do the kissy sound. Anyways, are they or are they checking who has chemistry before they go into the season? I mean, that's what the preseason games are for, and that is, getting these guys mixed around in the fire. But I think Pete Carroll was probably like, he's trying to hold in his emotions going back over there. And then probably same thing with Geno Smith, and it's like, you want to win the game.
His emotions. There's a whole fucking story on that.
But it's probably like, I want him in there, but I don't want to get him hurt just to win a preseason game against my former employer. But yeah, I mean, with everything
I get that too. But if they would have marched down the field, not even scored, but marched down the field a little bit more before having to punt the ball, I could see pulling them. But to stall out like that, I think one more series is not too much to ask for. I mean, the starting offensive line stayed in for at least into the second quarter.
That they went through the first half.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So I mean, that's the spot we have to worry about injuries because our backups are not, I'm more concerned there than I am in most other position
groups.
For all that, you're going to leave them in there to get that continuity. I just wanted to see, like I said, I know it happens. It drive stall at times and that kind of shit. But one more drive just to show, hey, it was just bad execution. We got this. We're able to march down the field. I mean, shit like that. And I'm not saying we're going, we want to win every game. It's preseason. We went down 14-0 or some shit like that. You still want to keep shit close. You want to keep it going. You put us in a bad spot with one stall, and then, then you have your guy who's fighting for a backup position right now, trying too hard because, he stalled out. Here's my chance to shine. I mean, I have faith in Pete Carroll into things, and maybe I'm just being overly harsh because I'm just seeing a whole lot of last year right now.
Well, Pete Carroll didn't seem all that too thrilled with everything in the first half. But talking about the two quarterbacks, Aiden O'Connell and Cam Miller, here's what he had to say about them when they asked Pete Carroll about how they performed and they played. Here's what he had to say about that.
Pete, I was wondering what your thoughts are of Aiden O'Connell's performance. A couple of shaky passes and the grounding infraction as well. But your thoughts on Aiden last night?
He's been doing a really nice job, and anticipated that he would play a good, strong game. I thought that he did have a couple plays. I thought our tempo we needed to pick up. I thought we lost a bit of our edge tempo-wise, just taking a lot of time at the line of scrimmage. If you notice the second half, it wasn't like that. He adjusted, Chip got on it, and he looked a lot better. I thought he threw the ball well, and there was a couple plays he would like back. He missed a touchdown pass that we came back and threw later in the game, same play, and we just misread something. So I'm pleased with what he's doing. I really am.
What you believe Camilla's progress has been from the start of training camp or even the start of OTAs to how he played yesterday? Cam Miller.
Oh yeah, well he continues to do a nice job. Go back to the mock game. You guys were there. He kind of did the same thing in the mock game. The last 5 or 6 days of our work, he continues to move the club, and so I'm happy for him. It was a little bit. It's about as duress as you can get, and he handled it well. But it's not the first time. He's done well in our practices, and he did well. Like I said in the mock game, he put the same situation, put a field goal to win the game, and a couple times there, and did it against Seattle. Nice job by him.
And right there in Asylum, I'm gonna jump segments. We're gonna come back to the way I had it, but that kind of opened the question for what we like to call overhyped news. So let's go into that segment. Do you want to get it? Do you want to play with me?
I'm ready. You want me to do it?
Let's go.
This is incredible. They got the guards in the backfield. They got the center to the right. And the quarterback isn't even there. They're standing around, butts. Oh, yeah.
Now, Asylum, it's been said. The center's over there. Yeah, we don't know who it is yet. Anyways, Asylum. There has been articles coming out right after the game that Aiden O'Connell, the way he looked, he's in his 3rd year. He should be playing better. Even though this is his 5th offensive coordinator in starting his 3rd season. Not making excuses, just saying, we're just saying this. But
it's also his 5th head coach?
5th head coach. Oh, well, yeah. If you really think about it, 5 coaches in 2 years. He's beat Derek Carr by 2 coaches. But they're saying that I'm gonna set you up. Well, I'm gonna set you up. They're saying that Aiden O'Connell could be not playing for this team, but putting film out there for another team, basically trying to up his trade value because the Raiders are going to move on from him to Cam Miller off of 7 passes, 6 completions with that touchdown. Is this overreaction? Is this over whatever I said news?
Overhyped news?
Overhyped news, Asylum?
I know you have something on here. Oh, it's for later on. Never mind. Okay, it's another comparison. O'Connell did the same thing his rookie season in his first game. Okay?
Yeah.
He came out and blew the doors off the water and going. And we both said at that time, because it was Jimmy G who was supposed to be the starter, we thought he earned the starting spot. If not, definitely the second string spot. Unfortunately, I think there's a hint of truth to the statement of him possibly getting traded. I don't know. Again, he tried too hard. Pete Carroll said, he settled down. He started being the O'Connell that we keep saying, and reason why we keep saying we're Team Ramrod.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him starting to move around a little bit in the pocket. He stepped up and avoided a sack to be able to, I believe it was on the drive that led to his touchdown. Intentional grounding call said it all to me. A 3rd-year pro should be throwing to Whiteside when he could have grounded 5 yards in front of him. Did I miss the intentional grounding goal? I must have missed that.
There was the one where he was getting pressured and he kind of chucked the ball. Though the one I remember, and it didn't reach the line of scrimmage. Yeah.
But again, I'm with you on that, Jason. But at the same time, what did we just say? It's we don't want to say it's excuses, but you cannot tell me it does not affect players. His fifth head coach, his fifth offensive coordinator in his third fucking year. Okay? This is not something he keeps getting set back. He has to relearn everything. He has to learn. He now has, a real offensive fucking coordinator who could build things around him. He's got to trust in that. He's got to trust in his abilities. And he's constantly got fucked over by head coach and head coach. He's my guy. We're going to start Minshew because he threw an interception at the very end. It's just the way it keeps going. He's learning. He's growing. He's getting better. Now, can Cam Miller come in and overtake him? Sure. Why not? Never say never. I'm not saying O'Connell is infallible. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback to come out and he's going to be, beat Tom Brady and all this other shit. But you got a guy who, in Aiden O'Connell, who plays the game like his hero, Tom Brady. He what's the word I'm looking for? He
emulates.
It's not the word, but that works. His game after Tom Brady. Okay. Then you got Tom Brady's pick in Cam Miller, which Tom Brady sees something. Not saying he didn't fucking do great, but again, this is just he had 7 passes. Let's go. Let's see more out of the kid. I don't expect Cam Miller to be, starting week 1, doing all this other shit. I'm not expecting it, anything like that. His first year is supposed to be like a redshirt year. He's exposed to just learn the game, the speed of the NFL, get everything going. Aiden O'Connell has actually in his third year, you call him a veteran-ish kind of quarterback. So let's give him a chance to settle in with the new head coach, with a new offensive coordinator who could actually turn around and actually help him. He's got weapons and everything there. We know Geno Smith is the starter. Mm-hmm. We don't expect O'Connell to, supplant him as the starter. So let's just go, give him his reps, get comfortable under the system, and see what happens. We need somebody there who could step in and handle the pressure. And even though it's not excuses, it is a factor in his, ability to have learned. And he's learned. He's gotten better every year. But you have to take into account 5 different head coaches and 5 different offensive coordinators. That does something to a player. Tom Brady didn't have to deal with that shit in his career. Montana didn't deal with that shit in his career. Peyton Manning didn't deal with that shit in his career. I'm not saying he's these people. All I'm saying is consistency is going to help the most important position on the team at quarterback. And the one thing he has not had, and the biggest knock on Derek Carr by a lot of people, was Derek Carr's inconsistency. And Derek Carr had the same fucking problem at the beginning of his career with a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator every fucking year.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel the same way too. That all these obstacles and everything that he had to endure. But I don't know. This could be legitimate news, not overhyped, because Pete Carroll, his history, coming into like the Seahawks, he made a whole bunch of transactions, cutting guys, bringing in new guys, cutting guys. You know, he's not afraid to cut somebody. I mean, whatever the Christian Wilkins situation was, hey, you know what? You ain't part of the team. You ain't trying to help out, whatever. You ain't trying to help to get back on the team. Whatever, you're cut. Not saying O'Connell's is not helping the team, but in the NFL, not for long. Same thing with this Raiders regime.
What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? And if this is not a system, because also it happened with Ja'Cory Bennett, if this is not the system that fits your skill set, and if somebody does come with an offer like the Godfather that we can't refuse, I don't want to say I wouldn't be surprised, but it depends on what they give up. Because let's just say going to the season, no bad juju, something happens to Geno Smith. You have a third-year guy, you know, back there this would be his fifth offensive system. So I guess you could say he's a veteran in that stage right there. But coming in, he can at least sustain the offense until Geno comes back. You know, whatever. That's what happened with Minshew until himself got hurt.
The biggest thing in the statement right there that he has the advantage of, he already has the speed of professional football down. It's already slowed down for him. And that's his biggest advantage over Cam Miller right now is, he doesn't have to learn the speed and adjust and learn how to slow it down. He's already got, and he's been through hell. I mean, he's been sacked. He's been through all this stuff. He knows he has to be more mobile.
He's been getting
and he's been working on it. A straight trade for a guy I think would fit. I have a name, but not going to say for the sake of friendships. Oh, now I got to know. I'm ready to block, but now I got to know. Say the name, Jason. Say the weird name.
But I mean, it's one of those things where O'Connell needs to bounce back and really, it depends on how much playing time he's going to get, because Cam Miller might be the one coming in after Geno Smith, and if Geno Smith is going to be out there taking more reps in this game against the 49ers, and then I can see Cam Miller coming in, okay, let's give Geno Smith maybe 3 series. Maybe 3 series, maybe like 3-4 series, and then put Cam Miller in, to at least get him against some second team guys and see how he fares with that. But I mean, Saddam, that leads us to he has really improved and would fit Chip Kelly's offense.
I don't need to be teased. To say the damn name.
Let's see if this jogs it. Asylum, I'm going to switch it to the other overhyped news right here. And this is everyone saying that we messed up in the draft. Actually, let's do this one. We messed up in the draft because Ashton Jeanty is a bust also. And if you look at, see for Stinson, oh, that's not bad.
Look right here. We're still friends. We're still friends. I can live with it.
Ashton Jeanty only had the 3 carries, the -1 yards, and everyone is jumping off the rails right now over one preseason game, the first preseason game, that he's a bust. He couldn't get through the offensive line. What is going on? Whatever. And 4 handoffs. No, 3 handoffs.
No,
what I say?
3 handoffs.
3 handoffs.
He had 3 carries.
3 carries, -1 yards. He was only out there for 3 handoffs and blitz pickup. Asylum, this has to be overhyped news.
I mean, come on.
And I'm going to lead it to the next one.
I'm going to cut you short here. I swear to God, the people who are trying to say we fucked up on Ashton Jeanty, and you have to remember, I wasn't one that was wanting to necessarily draft him. We had other needs in going, right there. We could have got a running back later on, but I was also one of those ones who was not complaining about, about the pit. Okay.
That can go either way. Sack short. Sorry, Hannah's comments. Sorry.
He had 3 carries. Yeah, one was behind the line of scrimmage for like a loss of 4 yards or whatever the fuck it was, right? 5 yards, whatever. Okay, you're dealing with an offensive line that's still trying to get their feet under them, pun intended. Really, he didn't get no real chances to get into a rhythm. Yet again, what did I talk about with Geno Smith and that first, drive and everything? Then you pull him out. Yes, he was out there with Aiden O'Connell as well, but it was a different type of plays being called at that point. You're trying to see what you're just trying to get him used to everything. If you're going to base it off of 3 fucking plays, 3 fucking carries, and say he's a bust, then you must have thought Jamarcus Russell was going to be a fucking superstar.
I know a guy who said Jamarcus Russell was going to be a superstar, the biggest Raider fan in the world.
I know that same guy.
He wears makeup. Anyways, no one knows who he is. Anyways.
You can't go that route off of 3 carries in a preseason game. Right? He's getting his feet under him. The offensive line is getting their feet under him. And 2 of those runs were early on. When that offensive, that offensive line has not played in this configuration, but those, that time. And I saw some pluses. I like what I saw with JPJ on that right side. I saw him, put his hands on somebody's shed a block and fucking help his center out and blow a motherfucker up. And left a wide hole right there that if we would have ran the ball right then and there, the running back had, or even the quarterback, had a huge hole to run into. And nobody was there. Could have got 5 fucking yards. Okay? I'm starting to see why they chose the right side for JPJ. Remember, I put him on the left side. I didn't have him as the starting center either. So, I just kind of felt Colton Miller, and a JPJ, you got a one side locked down, and that's your quarterback's blind side. That's how I was going. And then, the Highway 63 possibility, all that other shit, possibly being there. But I saw some pluses, but they still got to work together. They got to get used to it. Meredith has been thrown in as a center. Apparently, oh, no, that's later on. I won't say nothing about that yet. But, there's things I don't want to go. But they got to get time. And if you don't give your running back a chance to get his feet under him, he's a fucking rookie who came from college. This is his first NFL experience of playing against guys who are better than who he played against in college. In the NFL, even the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stringers in the NFL are better than a lot of the 1st stringers in college. So some of those openings that he saw maybe closed real quick, right? Or, he just didn't get his feet under him. Hell, maybe he was just so juiced, and just screwed himself up. We've seen that happen plenty of times.
I can talk about that a long time ago. When I used to play, I'm trying to get back to my outfield form when I used to play competitive fast pitch softball for my Hawaiian League a couple years back. One of my friends at the time said, "Hey man, what you should do? You should take this energy pill and drink it with this the Red Line, which is an energy drink, and man, you can fly all over even faster." I was like, okay, and I took it like 2 hours before the game. I couldn't stop warming up. I was for 2 hours doing my warm-up drills. I was doing side shuffle. I was doing back pedal. My teammates were all like, hey, relax. We still got a hour and a half until the game starts. And I'm all like, I can't relax. I can't relax. And it wasn't like I wasn't having anxiety because of all the caffeine or whatever was in my system. It was just more like I can't relax. I'm just, and then when I got to the game, I wasn't burnt out. I was just more so, I was locked up because my body was still So I didn't have that natural jolt. You know, when I try to go for a fly ball, I was, you know, my body was on this rhythm that wasn't, so I was locked up. So you got for me, the energy pill, the energy drink, and the adrenaline running through your veins. I was like triple
stacked,
you know. So that could be it, you know. Genty first NFL game, just the environment, you know, knowing this is your head coach's return back, this is your quarterback's return back to where they used to play, you know, the last 5 years.
And everyone stop with the stance bullshit. Stop with the stance because they changed his stance. He can't run. Come on. You know,
from this to this, this to this,
you know,
to this.
Yeah, I mean. There's a lot more things we could pick on and tear apart about the game and leave Action Genty alone.
I got another story for you. Speaking of stances, they want to go and they want to say, oh, well, it's because they're trying to mess with he needs the Jason stance to, you know, the from Halloween. He needs to be standing like that. And it's like, okay, you're from here to here. From here to here. Liquid myth. Yeah, that was the last time I had that red line too, because I was like, let's play some softball. But anyways, going off of stances, I think for when it comes to a stance, I think it matters more for someone on the trenches, on the line. Because when I played offensive line in high school, you know, when we would go in regular formation where the quarterback is under center, I'm playing left tackle. You know, I can be in a 3-point stance because we're going to go on sound. We're going to go on cadence. So I could be in a 3-point stance and then come out to go after the tackle, or if I'm going to block down to the guard, at the tackle, but the end, or I'm going to block down to the guard. Now, if we were in shotgun, which was on the movement of our center, so all of us, the defensive line and the offensive line, were all reacting to the center's movement of the ball. Now, for me to be in a 3-point stance, to look inward and then look outward and then be down and come up when the defensive end knows, okay, shotgun, most likely it's going to be a pass. You know, they're going to pass, so I'm going to just sprint right through. I asked my coach, I said, can I be in a 2-point stance? And my coach said, what offensive lineman have you seen in a 2-point stance? I said, Lincoln Kennedy. At the time, Lincoln Kennedy. He goes, well, you're not Lincoln Kennedy. Okay. I get blown up in that game. The next game, he goes, you can go in a 2-point stance. Yeah, I told you, because I didn't want to go in a 2-point stance, and then I get called for like you're not on the line of scrimmage or whatever, because I didn't know the whole high school rules like that. So the next game, now I can be in a 2-point stance. You know, I'm in that crouch down position. You know how Lincoln Kennedy with the one arm on the knee pad, and then with that back leg back already about to kick back. He just had to look in, and it's just one fluid motion to come out. And when I was able to go in that 2-point stance, I was able to react quicker to the defensive lineman. Now, why is that relevant to a running back? Because a running back doesn't see contact right away. Offensive lineman sees contact, ball snap, contact. Running back, ball snapped. He's still seeing the development, gets the ball. Then he has so that whole standing thing, I don't feel, and I never played running back. So if there's any running backs in the comments who played in high school, but as a running back, maybe to see over the offensive line, maybe if you're a smaller guy, and Genty's a slightly smaller guy height wise, but the stance don't mean nothing, because once you get the ball, you're already in a down position again. So, he's changing his stance. How dare they go and change the way this is what made him. I don't know. Anyways, that was off. That was a rant.
I just think you went the long version of the whole stance argument is just straight bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Yeah, it's just one of those, let's get him some time. That's what preseason's for. You're going to see him in all 3 games. I bet you. Hopefully we see more of him and be able to go. And when he's able to get that, he hasn't even had a chance to try to cut, do all those other things. He had 3 carries. Let's break down every other running back, their first 3 carries, and see what they got for total yards. and everything
Well, the
else.
Seahawks went to go put out that tweet talking about we had the better Boise State running back.
We got the better boys. Yeah, but that's because they were, they came in and was able to run the ball. And that was another thing you want to talk about. Their offensive line was able to push around our defensive line and allow their running back to be able to run the ball. But yet, those offensive linemen have probably played together before. How many new guys in new positions were in there? The whole center of our line is in a different position than what they're normally playing. You got to give them a chance to, work with each other and do these things. And I'll admit, the offensive line started doing a little bit better up until the point of them getting out. In the beginning, it was rough. It was tough. Yeah, oh shit, this is the same offensive line going. I mean, when he lost those 4 or 5 yards, that whole line collapsed. We saw that a lot. But yet, we blamed the offensive line last year, and then started going after the running backs. Now we're just going straight after the running back. Why? Because he's a rookie phenom that literally only had 3 carries, and we're going to call him a bust over that?
Yeah.
I mean, know your fucking history.
It's a very, 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 very overhyped news. It's one preseason game. But it also leads to this last one here of overhyped news. Asylum, you're going to be irritated about this one. Because everyone's looking at all the games around the league and they're like, wait a minute, we could have had this guy
today.
Because it's Wednesday. Okay. Wednesdays is piss off Asylum Day every day.
Apparently fucking so.
It's Meds Day. All right, not Wednesday, it's Meds Day. Okay.
I took my meds today.
Here's another one, Asylum, another overhyped news, maybe, I don't know, but here we go with this one right here. You're going to love this one right here. Everyone was looking at how Shedeur Sanders was out there looking like someone that we could have got in the first round, in the second round, in the third round, a couple of picks in the fourth round, until the Browns on their second, after they drafted the first quarterback, took him. I want to say what, in the fourth or the fifth? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I think it was the fifth, to be honest with you, but I don't remember because this ain't even overhyped news. This is who gives a fuck news. Okay? He's not a fucking Raider, first and foremost. Second of all, he did not, as far as I'm concerned, he did not play as well as everyone's trying to say that he fucking played. Okay? And then we're going to go to the point of, he's sitting behind old man Joe Flacco. Oh, wait. There's still 2 other fucking quarterbacks in front of him there, too.
Yeah, so, Doug Gabriel. Doug Gabriel,
he got to play with the I have nothing to fucking worry about attitude. I just get to fucking go out there and play football. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that because I ain't going to start because, you know what, Joe Flacco's better than I am. I got 2 other guys in front of me. So, what do I can't screw up. If I screw up, what's going to happen? They're going to bench my ass? They have 5 fucking quarterbacks on the team.
He's the fourth. He is on the fourth. He's the 4th string quarterback right now on the depth chart.
It's the whole thing is, why are we fucking talking about Shedeur goddamn Sanders? Okay, all because his daddy fucking said something and everything else. Yet his brother Shiloh has a better chance of becoming a starter this year than Shedeur does.
Now, wait, emphasize that. Not just make a team, not just make the 53-man, but actually becoming a starter with the Buccaneers.
He has a better chance. But do we talk about that? No. Because his daddy didn't talk about Shiloh. His daddy talked about Shedeur. I'm so fucking sick and tired of Deion fucking Sanders, Shedeur goddamn Sanders. Okay, guess who else played this fucking well his rookie, his very first rookie preseason game? And I guarantee there's a lot of Raiders fans out there who don't even want to see his ass fucking start on the goddamn team. fuck? Aiden O'Connell played better than this in his first fucking game of preseason against the 49ers. But heaven forbid, he's just a backup, right? Back with the back when he was supposed to wear the number 4 too. Granted, number 4. You know, I mean,
well, I was gonna say, and my sister, when O'Connell came out in 2023, he was a 4th round pick. I think it was like one round higher than Shedeur Sanders. Him coming in, throwing like that against going Jeff Carr. Him coming like that, especially against the 49ers, who we all hate so much as Raider fans. And to see another number 4, not the Derek Carr, he was given that number 4 out of spite because of Derek Carr with McDaniels, who drafted him. It was all the whole thing didn't make any sense. Whatever with the way McDaniels and Ziegler drafted him, Aiden O'Connell, but they kind of used him as like the, I guess I don't know, like haha, Derek Carr. He's actually, I don't know. It was stupid the way they kind of managed Aiden O'Connell, especially in this first year. But we were all like, wait, who is this guy that came out of college, that came out of Purdue, and he's over there slinging it, he's over there slinging it.
Tell me, he in this game, he did. If it was him and Shedeur in this game, he'd have beaten Shedeur. But yet, we're going to turn around and say he's nothing more than a backup. Okay, nothing more than a backup. We're not even going to talk about him. Because fucking his daddy didn't play fucking football. His daddy's not a pro bowler. His daddy wasn't coaching a team. That's the only reason why he was the fucking starter on the goddamn team. Okay? You see, people forget. I watched Shedeur get destroyed by KU in Kansas. He looked like straight garbage that game. If it wasn't for, Travis Hunter, he would have fucking been benched. But yet you're going to sit here and look, we'll go off these numbers here. One more completion. Less pass attempts. Higher completion rate. More yards. Pass yards average. Higher. Okay, Shedeur had 1 extra fucking touchdown. Big fucking whoop. This is just fucking, again, down to who gives a flying fuck about Shedeur Sanders, the 4th string quarterback on the Cleveland fucking Browns behind old man Flacco, who Aiden O'Connell would beat out if he was over there.
Yeah.
So let's
really look at these numbers. Okay, let's look at these numbers. Aiden O'Connell's very first start in his debut as a rookie quarterback. He started that game against the 49ers in August 13th of 2023. 18 attempts, 15 completions to Shedeur's 23 attempts, 14 completions. Aiden O'Connell, 83.3 completion percentage to Shedeur's 60.9. 140 yards passing, Aiden O'Connell to Shedeur's 138. Okay, that's only off by 3. Passing yards, passing average 7.8. Passing yards average 7.8. O'Connell to Shedeur's 6.0. 1 passing touchdown O'Connell. Yes, Shedeur had the 2. No interception for both. The rating was 117.8 for O'Connell, 106.8 for Shedeur. O'Connell was only sacked 1 time for 6 yards. He was sacked twice for 6 yards. And of course, they both won the game. Aiden O'Connell won the game 34-7. He played the first half. Shedeur played the first half and went into the third. Won their game 30-10 against the Panthers. But it's all more so, like you said, Asylum, it's the hype. It's the hype, because after that game, even I don't have the graphic, I don't have the picture, I didn't want to put it up, I don't really care either, but even Nike was all like, oh, it's coming, or whatever, time with soon, whatever, overhyping because of the name, because of the last name, and all the whole thing of him falling down the draft.
Shedeur doesn't even make the fucking team.
He was just before this game. He was just on where they can trade anybody. The Browns can trade any of the quarterbacks, and he was also on that list. He wasn't, he's also on that trading block. So it's just everyone, jump to all this. Well, look what Shador did. Look what Shador did. See, we could have had Shador. He was the guy. It's still early, and that's what we're trying to prove here on this graphic, on these highlights, is that it's only one game. It's only one game because everyone's saying not going to say everyone, but a lot of folks are saying, oh, you know what, O'Connell, he's done. Cam Miller, come on up, be the second guy, whatever. But we were also the same ones after O'Connell's first 3 games in the preseason. That last one was kind of iffy, whatever, in his rookie year, the preseason game. But we were like, hey, you give this guy a chance, a legitimate chance, it's a consistency. Now with coaching staff, offensive coordinator, those 2 main things, then this guy can do something. There's talk that the Tennessee Titans might be one to ask for his services, Aiden O'Connell, because of the Ziegler tie. Ziegler, assistant general manager for the Titans. So I don't know. It's up in the air, but when it comes to Shador Sanders, that is super overhyped news. It's still early. Injuries right now, he has an injury, Shador has, which he is unlikely to have any playing time in this upcoming game for him. He was on the iffy whether they were going to play him going into this game before they said he had a injury. So, it's only one game.
So what you're trying to say is the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
Shador Sanders, who's supposed to go fucking be God's gift to fucking quarterbacks here, is not even
Dylan Gabriel. I said Doug Gabriel, the Raider. That's when I said Doug. I'm like, no, it's wrong. It's a Raider receiver. Dylan Gabriel. It starts with a D. D Gabe.
We all know Dylan Gabriel's the better quarterback. We know Joe Flacco is the better fucking quarterback. It's only because of the name on the back of the jersey. It's only because of, fuck. It came down to Shiloh trying to give his dad his jersey, his first game jersey he ever got to play in the NFL. And daddy said, no, I want 30 times more, which nobody knows what that means. And so mama stepped in and said, I'll take it. We all know who's daddy's fucking favorite. And daddy did everything. Why did he take that goddamn Colorado Buffalo's coaching job? To make sure that his boy could play the fucking game. Because nobody else was going to put him in the goddamn game.
He followed them all throughout from, was it Jackson State to Colorado?
I don't remember his stuff like that. But yeah, come on, he went to being, he's a first-round draft pick to all of a sudden sliding, and he's been the whole time. And then he fucking gets drafted, and do we see any other rookies' reaction to their locker? No, but we're going to show you Shador's fucking reaction to his locker with all, who gives a fuck about the other 3 quarterbacks on the team? It's been Shador, and who gives a flying fuck? Because Shador, and I still have my guarantee out there, okay? I think any 3 of our quarterbacks will beat Shador, and when we play the Browns, if Shador's starting, guaranteed fucking win. I'm joking anything bullshit. I guarantee. Now, where's my fur coat?
The NFL media has not closed that Shador. Oh, that was a pun. Anyways, let's change gears. Let's talk about the offensive line, Kay. Let's talk about the offense. I got one more overhyped news, but that's going to be at the end of the show because of what happened before the Seahawks game. But let's go and talk about the offensive line with, I guess, I know. So here we go. I know. I know you want to go and beat a dead horse named Shador. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the offensive line. Let's go down into the trenches.
One thing you got to understand is the only way to play this game is you got to get down in the dirt and get nasty. Let's go.
Let's talk about the offensive line. All right, Asylum. Here's what Pete Carroll had to say when they asked him about the offensive line and the play of JPJ and Meredith.
You guys played Jordan Meredith and Jackson Powers Johnson through the third quarter yesterday, so you got a good amount of time to look at them. What did you think about the performance? What did you like, and what do you think they could improve on moving forward?
Oh, there's stuff for us to improve on in all aspects of our ball. Those guys did get a good look because we wanted to really have a lot of film on them, and so it's a good first step. You know, I thought Jordan was in command of what was going on in a difficult situation that we wanted to, see how far he could go with handling the noise and the silent counts and all that kind of stuff, and he really did a good job of that. But we're not ready to make any declaration on anything. We just got to keep on working.
Are you seeing what you wanted to see from Jackson Powers Johnson?
Yeah, he's definitely a physical football player, and at the guard spot, playing next to Jordan, it showed up, and it seemed to be a bit of a factor. We need consistency. We need those guys working together. Jordan's coming a long way at the center spot, but he played a really solid game right out of the chute. So you notice that we played him a lot, and he played almost, I think, to halftime, and that was to just give him enough reps so that we could have stuff on film and that we could work from. Same with JPJ.
All right, Asylum. Now, before we get into looking at the offensive line, I got one more audio video to show. I'm gonna just unload all these videos that I have. This is Richie Incognito. He was on the morning tailgate on the radio, the Raiders radio in Las Vegas. Here's what he had to say. Former offensive lineman with the Raiders, retired as a Raider last couple years. Here's what he had to say about JPJ and the offensive line. Here we go.
Yeah, I think what you see with Jordan Meredith is he plays with good technique. He plays within the rules. He plays with good technique. The one thing about Jordan is he's just a little undersized. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on with him and JPJ right now, but I think when you watch Jordan play, he's got real clean technique. He's undersized, so he knows he has to play with good technique. When you're undersized like that, you can't get away with too much because, you'd be out of position and you're playing against big athletic guys. So I think Jordan, he's clean. He played real well at center. I think he's a smart guy. I think that, playing center is the most important position on the offensive line. The center comes up to the line of scrimmage. He sets the table for the rest of the offense. He comes up. He's looking to identify the front, identify the mic, identify a lot of different things. And when you're playing center, you need a center who's confident, who's going to get the call out quick. The rest of the guys on the offensive line have to have confidence that he makes the correct call, because once he makes the call, then all the communication starts going. And, it really sets the table for the offense. I've played in offenses where you're not too sure about the call or the center's making a late call. And, you got other guys out there. I was a perfectionist. Everything had to be done a certain way. So if you don't trust the center making a call, I'm looking, I'm checking, I'm making sure it's the right call. And, it's slowing down my process. Then I'm getting in my stance. I'm worrying about, the front, the technique I'm trying to hit, stuff like that. So I think Jordan, he's a real clean prospect. He, at guard, he's a little undersized, but he does play with good technique. So he was able to grade out and play well last year. And I think at center, he's playing really well. And then we got Jackson. Jackson is a really talented kid. He's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he's physical. And the one thing I'd like to see him get technique. Going out there and running around and causing havoc is great, but, on third and long in the fourth quarter, when you got to have it, you got to have good technique. So I think right now with the competition, they know what they have with Jordan at center, and it's all about Jackson, proving that he can play with good technique, snap after snap after snap after snap. Yeah, well, I think being consistent is the number one thing that you're searching for being a professional athlete, and especially in the offensive line. And what brings consistency is good technique. And all young players are looking to play with good technique. And it's one of those things now where kids come out of college and they're coming from all these different offenses, and Some have been in the huddle, some haven't been in the huddle. You're getting a play. The big thing is, you're standing at the line of scrimmage in college and a guy's holding a poster board, as opposed to now in the NFL, you get in the huddle and we're calling 2 plays and we get to the line of scrimmage and we have this massive menu of code words and stuff like that. So for me, consistency comes down to technique. Technique, first and second step, pad level, hat placement, hand position, feet, finish. You have to literally go through and do those things in that order every single play in order to set yourself up for success. You can do all those things perfectly to a T, and in the NFL, you might lose the rep. So, consistency comes in practice, in walkthroughs. I talk to a lot of people about, we used to get so many more reps back in the day in 2-a-days. They killed us, and you could barely walk, but we were getting reps. And not only were we getting reps, we were getting reps in pads. So we had twice the amount of time to practice. And it all comes down to reps. It comes down to repetition. It comes down to doing those things, first and second step. Where am I placing my hat? Am I hitting him with pad level? And then, it kind of branches out from there. Okay, I got my technique. Now I got to get the guy next to me down. This is what I'm doing. This is what he's doing. And as you learn and as you grow, you know what everybody around you is doing. When you're young, you're kind of just closed in and you're out there almost panicking, like, all right, I'm gonna just roll this guy off the ball. But the inconsistency shows up. Just going back to the preseason game, they struggled with TE stunts all last season. And that's what they saw in the first preseason game with the pass blocking, the tackle picks, the defensive tackle picks the offensive tackle, and the defensive end loops around. So, that's one of the things that they need to get cleaned up. And that's one of the things where good technique comes in, good pass set, good punch, pass it off, get the eyes up for the looper. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I really think that being detailed about your assignment and then being detailed about your technique will help bring consistency.
All right, Asylum. Sorry, that was a long clip because I am a former offensive lineman. To me, I speak that language, okay? And I need to get a telestrator. We're going to be working on that too, but let's just look at... What is up, Vincent? Hey, Vincent, let us know in the email if you are down for fantasy football with the cage match. Oh, yeah. Okay, anyways, that was a little short promo. He's on there. He's on his lunch break, so I got to make sure I catch him. Okay, so let's look at this real quick, okay? I don't have no lines, but let's just look at it. Okay, this lineup right here, this is the starting lineup. You have Miller. So Miller's on the left side. Then that's Parham. And then you have Meredith in the middle, JPJ right guard, and then DJ Glaze at right tackle. It's opposite because I'm looking at them right here. Okay. The offensive line in this new way, I mean, it didn't look too bad. Of course, you're going to see a couple times where the defensive lineman breaks through. But, I mean, you see Meredith right there. He got quick off the ball.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. But right there, where you saw JPJ take his initial guy, and then when Meredith got there, he was athletic enough, and that's what they were talking about with athleticism. He was able to get off that block and over to be able to block the next guy.
Yeah.
That's stuff I was going to talk about earlier. Sorry. Continue.
Well, no, and then you see, like, let's say pass on. So you got this guy in the A gap right here, right between the center and the guard. Okay, right there, he did a little stunt right there. So Meredith has to make sure he keeps his helmet up, his shoulder pads up, always look up, and you have to adjust because even these defensive linemen, even though they're big, they're quick and they're fast, and they got those initial movements. I forgot what they're called. But I mean, you see these guys
right on that last play. If you notice, when the ball was snapped, he had his hand on the other guy, helping his center out. Nobody was in front of him. He saw Glaze was getting pushed back, and he was over there, able to help Glaze. I mean, to go. So I mean, again, this is the shit I was seeing in the game. where I'm liking him on this right side. Again, I put him on the right side. This athleticism that they keep saying he has been allowed. You're seeing him being able to be where he needs to be and help out, and not just be the guy in front of him, like most, like a center. A center is mostly guy in front of you or the guy who's, you got three guys you're worried about. Here you're using him, and he's athletic enough, and that's the key thing, athletic enough to be, shed a block. Look, he just pushed that guy right over there for three guys to block him, all with his arms.
And there's an interception right there. I just think it was just he didn't get his momentum into that throw, and it was a duck. But this offensive line, it wasn't really until they put Mumford out there, which he is out there now at the right tackle position. So taking over for DJ Glaze. Mumford had a rough game on that offensive line. As you see right here, when these guys try to shed across from you, shed across your face, you have to make sure that your number one rule as an offensive lineman is to make sure your inside gap is covered, because the closest lane to the quarterback is on the inside. And Meredith has to keep, he has to be quicker when he's shuffling down the line to cut off these pass rushers. And right there, see, right there where with Mumford did, you never go after a guy with your helmet down, okay? Never go after. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind that real quick. Look at Mumford. Look at Mumford. Wait, hold on. Okay,
there you go.
Mumford on the right side. He put his head down, and then he tried to go, and then he held him.
And I was going to say, he got called for holding right there.
See, as an offensive lineman, you on a running play, when you're blocking, you want to be aggressive and get there quick to get the guy. But when you do this, okay, that DN was reading that all the way. But whatever the hole is, if it's meant to go, where that is number 3, that's Zamir White. If he's meant to go between the tackle and the guard right there, then that play is blown up, which it was. Yeah, but if he,
because now the defensive guy is on the inside in the hole, like you were saying.
So this could be where Zamir White needs to adjust and just bounce it outside around the tackle, around around Mumford. But if
or
it's
turn
meant
it around
to
and
go
the other direction.
Yeah. But if it's meant to go within that hole between the right guard and the right tackle, that angle that I keep wanting to say Meredith because of the M, that Mumford took already got blown up, and as you can see, this play didn't go anywhere. He did bounce it outside, but I'm pretty sure that play was supposed to go inside, and he got beat. Mumford got beat inside, so he had a horrible game in this one. Pass blocking, he was able to catch that guy, but he was still able to. The guy still was able to push him into O'Connell's arm. But those are the first 3 drives of this game, offensive drives. So right there. The offensive line is still a work in progress. That middle seems to be working well. It was Meredith's first game going against an opposing team. The mock game doesn't count. This was all live.
And I don't think Meredith did bad as a center. I don't think he played bad at all.
No, what I'm saying is that he had a good game. He had a good game for his first time being a starting center. Because he was primarily a guard. He was a swing guard, and he played tackle. Before he became a starter at guard for the Raiders, off an injury, and in the rotating position on that left side with Whitehair last year and Andre the Giant last year. No, that was on the left side. So now him now being the center, and they're saying, okay, well, he's undersized, he's a smaller guy. Yeah, because in the middle, you don't really see too many nose guards coming in full, at the center. And if you do, you have that help with the guard coming in. When it comes to, let's say, a defensive tackle lining outside of that center spot, that guard is primarily going to be the one taking that full force. The center is going to be the one that's going to guide that momentum of that tackle to the guard, and then he goes up to the next level. So the center, he's basically kind of like that lookout block. The lookout block, that's not what that means. That's for the quarterback, but he's kind of like that guy that has to adjust to whatever's coming at him. You know, if it's a passing protection, he has to adjust to if a blitz coming in, a delayed blitz or whatever. But he just has to kind of be that front watch because, like I said, the closest lane to the quarterback is the straightest one. So Meredith, you know, being a smaller guy, but he's more so, I'm not taking on that brunt force of that tackle. The bigger guards are going to take care of that. I will be there to help, but I'm more so looking out for anyone coming in, or if I got to push off of this guy and then go to the next level to block on a running play. So he's more there to be the guy that tells the rest of the offensive linemen, hey, we're going to do this blocking scheme. Back in high school, we called it like a zone block, Arizona. Or if it was like a down block, we had Dallas or man block, Montana. So he's the one that calls the blocking scheme for the offensive lineman for what he sees in that front, because he's the first one that goes to the line of scrimmage. Then he has to tell the other guys, hey, this is the blocking scheme. This is what we're going to do. So that tells the offensive line how we're going to block for this play that we're called in the huddle, you know. So that's when you see the center go down and he's pointing, you know, Mike linebacker, whatever, tells the quarterback, you know, whatever. So they're both in communication that tells the guards and the tackles, and then eventually for the quarterback to tell everybody else what we're going to run, if we're going to audible or not. So Meredith, I guess, was quicker in recognizing these formations, these defensive fronts, and he was able to communicate it faster than JPJ.
There's a little addition to that, and I sent you the article that I had read, and apparently this might have been something that the new coaching staff came up with, or maybe this was just all on Meredith. During the offseason, Meredith has done a lot of studying for the center position. He was studying, you know, in film study and everything else. So when he was able to come into this training camp, he was a little bit more prepared, where it seems like maybe, and this is my speculation, JPJ was like, I'm the starter and, you know, everything, and didn't study, didn't do all the little things, because, you know, they keep talking about the brains and the smarts of a center, you know, what they expect. And even Incognito was talking about it. But, you know, during the offseason, Meredith was doing everything he could to prepare to be the center. So either he wanted it, or he knew coming in, you know, him and Pete Carroll had a talk, or him and Chip Kelly, or all three of them, and was told, you know, brush up on this, because there's a chance you could be fighting for that center position.
Yeah. I want to say welcome, Accelerator. New Raider super fan right there. I forgot to put that up there. Anyways, here's what Pete Carroll had to say when asked about when are you going to decide who's going to be the front line, timeline of all that. Here's what he had to say about the finalization of the 5-man front for the offensive line.
Starting 5 for the offensive line. Like, when are you guys going to have to make a decision? Do you feel like there's any time?
No, we got a long time. We get a month before we start playing real games, and maybe we don't figure it out by the start of the season, and we're rotating then. It just needs to declare when it declares, but it's good for all of us. It's good for those guys to be battling and knowing, looking around and saying somebody else is going to take my spot if I don't play well on every play that I get, and that's the mentality we're looking for.
Trying to light that fire.
And we talked about that earlier, though, when we were talking about the new signings and everything. Nobody's job is safe.
Yes.
You know, he wants it may come up. We may be starting the season and rotating out, as he says, which I call a little bullshit on that one. I think he has an idea and the way things are going. You're not going to go into that first game trying to figure out your starting line. You're going to have it going so they can work together as much as possible. I bet you what we see in the second game, the only exception being JPJ and Kappa, is going to be the starting line for this season.
Yeah, and Kappa hasn't really had too much action because I believe he's been injured. So, hey, like you said,
I also heard Mr. JPJ has a rib injury.
Yeah, well, he came back. Well, tomorrow they were gonna have the Niners come and do a scrimmage. So we'll see. We'll hear what happens more tomorrow, and the offense line and everything that happens, and then of course the game on Saturday at Solid. Real quick, let's kind of do this real quick because I want to talk about this quick rant right here. Let's go into Raider hater because middle fingers in the middle fingers in the air. Here we go right now.
Why you wanna play a hate on me?
All right, aside this is a Raider hater segment right here. Of course, everyone's trying to find some kind of whatever. Let's negative story towards the Raiders. And here, right here, is one example of it. This lady, Steph Chambers. Editors, no image contains profanity. I never knew if an image can. I guess a picture makes 1,000 words. So I guess this is 1,000.
There you go.
Image contains profanity. Geno Smith, number 7 of the Las Vegas Raiders, gives the finger to fans as he takes the field during an NFL preseason 2025 game against the Seattle Seahawks at Lumen Field on August 7, 2025 in Seattle, Washington. It seems like they're trying to describe where the crime happened right here, Asylum. Now, looking at this, I mean, you see Geno Smith. Now, see, on that article, you don't really see.
But they say that even Max Crosby did it too. It was in on this. So let's keep that in mind. But it's funny how you don't see the whole story, or the whole picture, the whole, now we have it here. But, everything they were showing was just focused, kind of like politics, right? They're just showing you what they want to show you instead of the whole picture, so you can make a decision based off the whole story instead of just part of the story.
Yeah, and then you see here that on that picture where that the lady on Twitter X, whatever, didn't have the full context of why he did it. And I was at the game. There was no boos to Geno Smith. There was no, negative energy when they came onto the field. It was all positive, and even the fans gave Geno Smith and Pete Carroll standing ovation. You just had this one fan right here, Raider hater right here, who just wanted to get noticed, who just wanted to get, people to talk about, look, I was on ESPN, and he's basically the puppet from last year's, thing. So, looking at this, and like you said, Pete Carroll was even trying to grab the sign. And you talked about Max Crosby. I mean, he said, hey, that's my quarterback. Hey, my middle finger's in the air too. That's my guy. That's my quarterback. I'm going to throw it up there too. Asylum, Pete Carroll was asked about this in one of his in the press conference this past, I want to say it was Tuesday. They asked him, like, hey, what do you think about, this whole thing about Geno Smith came out. What is your take on it?
Geno Smith was seen at the Seahawks game making an obscene gesture, like at a fan with a sign.
Did you see what the sign said?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Next question.
So you see right there, he said, oh, yeah, you see what the sign says? Next question.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of classic there. First, that's an obscene gesture. I've seen worse obscene gestures than a middle finger. I mean, nowadays, when a little kid does it, we all laugh at it. But when Geno Smith does it, oh my God, I'm so offended. And Pete Carroll did you see what the sign said? Yeah. Next question. It was like, you answered my question for me. Or you answered your own damn question. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just straight bullshit. Do I blame Geno? No. I mean, you're trying to throw my name in there with Jamarcus fucking Russell? I mean, we all know the answer to that. There's only one other person, well, maybe two, that could be up there as the biggest bust in NFL history.
Yes.
Okay? And that's Ryan Leaf and maybe Trey Lance. Because of
Trey Lance is looking good, though.
Huh?
Trey Lance is looking good for the Chargers, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, with everything that the 49ers had to give up to go get him, it didn't go. I said maybe Trey Lance. But still, so you got 3 people. Gino's nowhere close to that. I mean, he hasn't had the greatest start to his career, but we could put butt fumble Sanchez up there, or hot dog eating Sanchez. I mean, there's so many more people, going. I mean, in all honesty, can you blame Gino or even Max? Max supporting his boy, right? I mean, I don't blame Max on that, and I don't blame Gino. I mean, it's just a middle fucking finger. Who gives a flying fuck? I mean, we talked about this earlier. I think the middle finger that what was it? Earl Thomas gave his fucking whole sideline was a bigger deal than that one, and that was because of a whole
no, not that one. I had the wrong one. It is. I have it up here too, right here.
It's up there. This is because of the whole contract talks and everything. He wanted guaranteed money, and he got hurt. It was all due about injury. He ends up getting hurt, ending his season, and he's flipping off his coach, which I believe was at
Pete
the time,
Carroll.
was it Pete Carroll?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I think this is a bigger one than fucking Geno Smith's. I mean, he's in an air cast and all this other shit. I mean, it's dude had, I'm not going to call it an offensive sign, but dude wrote that sign in hopes to get the reaction that he got. He was probably hoping for a verbal one. And Geno Smith, as Anna put it in the comments, we'll put that up real quick, handled it like a boss. Instead, he just gave you, it's what your IQ right here. That's what I think of you, buddy. And went out and played the game.
And it's crazy because I was trying to find where everyone was going to jump on that bandwagon that, how dare he do it? How did Geno Smith to the fans and all that, whatever. And I was watching some YouTube videos, even Mike Florio and the other pencil neck, Phil Sims' son. They were more so Geno Smith. And also, I was watching Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, and they both were all like, "Nah, hey, I revived my career over there in Seattle, and this is how you guys do me. Then hey, middle fingers in the air." So it is what it is.
I almost offended a lot of people. I mean, I came out of it. I'm using the middle finger a lot more than Gino did, so I must be offending everybody. I mean, again, this is his soft society. That's what you see.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is. So
yes, that is overhyped news.
Yeah, overhyped news right there. Real quick, Asylum, we have a game this weekend against the Niners back in Oakland, back in Las Vegas.
Oh, yes.
We got to make sure, Raider fans, I know it's preseason, but come on, man. I don't like to see a whole bunch of red. And even Anna put it earlier, Las Vegas is going to be on its period with all the spotting that's going to be out there in the stands. But looking at the updated roster, who are guys that you're going to be looking at in this game this Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific or Las Vegas time, 3 p.m. your time on Saturday afternoon. Who are you looking at in this upcoming game on offense?
On the offense, I'm definitely going to be watching the offensive line again. I'm going to see if they start coming together, right? Wide receivers, I still think we're back at the whole Jack Besh and God damn it, drawing a blank. Besh and Thornton, thank you. A lot of people are going to be watching Ashton Genty, but I don't think that's a thing. I think it's mostly on the offense. it's going to be quarterback. That's who I'm definitely going to watch. Since we're told Geno Smith will be playing more, I want to see more out of him, right? And the offensive line, in my opinion.
Yes. You know what guy that I liked watching him in his last game that I want to see him get more opportunity is Alex Bachman, number 81. He looked good. He looked good in that game. I know he got a little dinged up in that last game, but he looked good. I want to see him get more playing. I mean, not get more playing time, but just kind of get more opportunities to make this team. He's a big target. He could be someone that could be a good third down receiver, or even another guy that could be in a slot or something. And I want to see more so the offensive line, especially if the starters are going to be in there more. I want to see how the offensive line puts it together with the starters, and continue to gel so we can figure out who's going to be that front five to block for this offense coming in the first game of the season. Real quick, Asylum, what about on the defensive side? Who are you looking for? I know you want to see better play in the middle of the field, defending the middle of the field, but who do you want to see?
I'm definitely looking at the linebackers for sure. I mean, that's 100 right there, hands down. I'm watching that closely. And I guess the secondary somewhat. I mean, they had some ups and downs, in there. They did get a pick. I believe that was Palomalo, right? Who got the pick?
Yes.
The secondary a little bit. I like to see some of the backups and see what they could do, because that's going to be a key thing in there, because we know secondaries get nicked up and shit like that. But my main focus is going to be on that linebacker core and how well they handle the middle of the field.
Yeah. I like I'm forgetting his name. Adams. Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams. He was flying around making plays. He got a newfound purpose. Having his last chance here, to be on this team. I'm sorry, I was trying to do something real quick. But I like him coming in, having more playing time and also be someone that can make a statement for this team. And then also, I want to see if the starters in the offense. I want to see more of the starters in the defense. I want to see more of the linebacking crew, and them defending the field. New guys in the backfield, in the defensive backfield, and in the linebacking core. I want to see if this group can really, take over and I guess fulfill or fill in the shoes for wrong button. Guys like Spillane and DBs that we
Trayvon Morig and Jacorian Bennett now and who else? Well, I mean, we lost a lot of them. So, but again, with the linebackers, like you said, we lost to Spillane, and we definitely need somebody to be able to step up and be that guy. I mean, and that's supposed to be Pratt. And again, I didn't pay attention, to be honest with you. I'm assuming the starting linebackers started at least, a series or whatever, because we saw Max Crosby out there and everything else. But even the backups, because linebackers get rotated in a lot, depending on situational and everything. So, Jamal Adams stepping up. It's time, Tommy fucking Eichenberg. This is his second year. So this is an opportunity to put that foot forward. And the other guys back there, let's step up and not give up the middle of the field like we were doing you know, in the Seahawks game. Now, on that note, though, I'm going to take a positive out of that Seahawks game. We've talked about a lot of negatives, right? And all that, and focus on.
I like to say critiques. We'll call it critiques.
Critiques. Okay, we did a lot of critiquing of the game, but there's one thing in that game that happened that we have not seen in a long time, and I think is a very good positive. Whether it was second, third, fourth stringers going in everything, that was the fight there at the end to win a game. We were a field goal, which was blocked, which Carlson is taking a lot of heat for. The guy had his whole head, you know, it was what it was. I'm taking this tie and I'm running with it because when was the last time you seen fight out of the team like that? We've had leads and won games, but we were down from the get-go. I mean, I believe we went down 14-0 at one point, or it was 10-0, something like that. And then, you know, basically after halftime, we came out and clawed our way into the game and actually put ourselves in a position to win the game. Coaching was still coaching. We talked about that earlier. The short that you put out there, which you can find on the Cage Match Show. Go visit the page. You'll be able to see the short of Pete Carroll out there constantly coaching throughout the whole game. Never stopped coaching. But the players, they went out there and they fought. They did everything. They did not give up and just say, this is preseason. The game's over. Let's just go into the locker room. So we, you know, they fought and treated it like a regular season game and went out there and tried to get the win. And we have not seen that in, you know, what, at least 3-4 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, going.
Well, I guess at the end when AP took over, you saw a little bit of that, especially towards the end of the season. But then it was like a small little, you know. So
it was there. They were debating, and again, you know, I mean, I'm taking a positive out of that. That was good to be able to see that no matter what, we may have. Again, we talked about this with Devontae Adams and that whole bullshit. You know, it's just win, baby. Not, you know, we got to be pretty, be like this. And they went out there and they tried to win that game. And we have not seen a fight. I'm taking a positive. We were getting pushed around. We had people not playing at their best, but we went out there and still tried to do everything we could to win the game. And I want, you know, put that on coaching. And I'll put it on the coaching. And so I'll give the coaching, you know, we'll be starting this soon, you know, in Siloms, in-state makers and shit like that. You know, I'll nominate the coaching in that first game for that because the play calling from Chip Kelly, you were seeing things going. I mean, that touchdown to Jackson, wide open. You know, that took a pump fake and everything else to go, but he was wide open to get it and get us back into the game. The fight was there. The defense did what they had to do to get the ball back in a tie game and move the ball. You know, then the offense moves the ball close enough for an attempt of a field goal. Oh, there you go. You know, I mean, that's something, that's a positive going into the season to see.
Yeah. And I was Pete Carroll right there. I took this video because we were like right there by the bench. Pete Carroll still coaching, and this is like in the third quarter. He was still running up and down the sideline, still coaching, because that's what Pete Carroll does. So, I want to see more of the Raiders showing improvement against the Niners, especially against the Niners. You know, it doesn't matter if it's preseason or not. It still gives you another year of, you know, one-upping, mess talking right there. All right, Asylum, let's end this show right now. Any last words, comments, whatevers?
You know, I'm gonna quote Max Crosby here. Let's go out there, get that 1% better. Go out there and keep the Niners winless and put a win in there. And everyone just go out there and fight for a job. Nothing's guaranteed. Fight for your job. Earn your fucking spot. And keep getting that 1% better every day.
Yes. This is Niner Hater by Stoner Dude and Raider Head right here. Getting fired up for this game, even though it's preseason, it doesn't matter. It's Raiders and Niners. Solemn, let's have a...
It counts.
I did. You can't say nothing, YouTube. There you go. All right, everybody. We want to thank you for watching the show. And if those new the new viewers that saw me and I gave you guys free gifts, I passed out schedules and koozies and lanyards that my girlfriend put together for me to go pass out the game. If you're watching the show, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let's say goodbye this way, and then of course the same way we always do with the word from Coach Wallace, aka Raider Milt. Let's wave, everybody. Everybody. Bye, everybody. There you go. Everybody, wave down the strip with your middle fingers in the air. Tell all those Niner fans over there. Tell all those Niner fans over there. All of you guys. Goodbye. Niner fans, good night. Appreciate everybody right there. All right, let me load this. All right, everybody have a good night. Take care. We'll see you on Wednesday to talk about this last game. And Antoinette, peace out. Anna, peace out. We're gonna send out emails about the you know what's called the fantasy football, because I think we have our roster of who's gonna play. So we're gonna confirm one more spot, and then we're gonna send it out there. We have an idea for a great prize.
How is this working? If we don't get another person, you and me are going to go in together and be one team?
No. If right now, if it stays as it is, because Vincent said he's never played before, it'll be if he says no, then we got our 8 teams, me versus you versus everybody else versus the world versus you versus everybody else, and it's for the people that are already in right now. They sent emails. Pig's Pig was one. Anna was one. I recruited my girlfriend. I recruited my sister because they watch all the time. Asylum's in. Arcadio, who had who's made the intro for our song, our intro music. It was his idea, so we're gonna set it all up, and we're gonna have a cool prize at the end of the season. Me and Asylum just gotta confirm how we're gonna do it, whatever. But it's gonna be free. This is the first inaugural one. So right now, this year it's free for those viewers who were dedicated to our show. So with that said, we're going to finalize that tonight and then send all the emails, if not tonight, tomorrow, and we'll go from there. All right, Asylum, that was longer than, but hey, we got football, we got a lot to talk about, and next week we'll have more to talk about. So all right then, everyone, take care, have a good night, and see you guys on Wednesday. Oh yeah, dig it.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight. Again, I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.